Mr. Speaker, I rise to join my colleagues as we all support the Honourable Minister of Finance in his bid to have the 2019 budget approved by this Honourable House, and unanimously too. Because I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, that the Honourable members on the other side, after their huffing and puffing, will see the full intent of this budget and also support it. Mr. Speaker, this budget speaks of development across the country, across this beautiful country of ours. But I will confine my presentation to Region 6 because it is where I am from and the area that I would like to highlight in a lot of what has been happening. Before I do that, Mr. Speaker, what I have here is a small list of things that were done in 2018 and things that will be done in 2019. It'll take just a few minutes to repeat or to read out to this Honourable House. But, Mr. Speaker, I honestly believe from my school days that a budget without rebuttal, a debate without rebuttal is almost a useless debate. And so I would like to offer some rebuttals to what I heard earlier. Very quickly, please, Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Joe Hamilton stood up and in his presentation, sir, the entire side of the opposition members were really laughing. It struck me that he could do well as a stand-up comedian. But then he made a very serious statement, sir, when he said, in 2020, this government will be kicked out. He quoted a lovely song. And Mr. Speaker, I say that statement is serious because I learned from the legendary, the late great Martin Luther King, that you must have a dream. The Honourable Mr. Hamilton was dreaming. And he can be blamed for dreaming, sir. It is just that he will wake up to find that it was just a dream. Mr. Speaker, I have listened just a few minutes ago to the Honourable Frank Anthony, Dr. Frank Anthony. He made some serious comments, and I will not dwell much on what he said, sir, except to share a term that we learned in law school. It says, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. We are accused, sir. We are accused, and most of that was hurled on the Minister of Health for having favoritism in tendering. Sir, we have unquestionably one of the richest men in Guyana who was a friend of the leader of the opposition, and he, sir, received almost 99% of contracts to provide drugs at exorbitantly high prices. Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Honourable Member if that individual received drugs as a result of proper tendering, or was he just given the contracts? Mr. Speaker, we cannot. He who lives in glass houses should not throw stones. We need to remember these things. And then, sir, I will go very quickly to my friend from Region 6, the Honourable Dr. Vishwa Mahadev. Mr. Speaker, he was, for a long period of time, heading the Berbice Regional Health Authority. What he didn't see, what he couldn't see, what he did not recognize was that pregnant women, sir, were sharing beds. Imagine when you're pregnant, I don't know if you can recognize that you don't have much movement about you, but you have to share a bed with another pregnant woman. This government, sir, right now, this Minister of Health, it's in the process, sir. A maternity ward is being built at the New Amsterdam Hospital that will house these women. Mr. Speaker, that should be commended. That is a commendable thing. Why? Why in 23 years the PPP did not see the need to have a maternity ward at the New Amsterdam Hospital? It's the vision, sir. It is the vision. And Mr. Speaker, comment was made by my friend Dr. Mahadev, the Honourable member, that the health centers of Platanka and number 76 were closed, Woodlands, Marbonta, and who knows what else he wanted to put inside there, except patients. Sir, the reason those health centers, first of all, Platanka is about 18 miles up on the east bank of Berbice, where the roads, prior to my good friend and Minister of Public Infrastructure, Patterson, taking a stand on that, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But before that, sir, it is a lot of traveling to get to that health center, and people had to come out to New Amsterdam to be treated. That health center was built. But sir, we do not accept substandard work. The health center number 76, which was quoted, the health center at Platanka was also quoted by my good friend, the Honorable Dr. Mahadev, as not being open, closed. Sir, the remedial work had to be done after the contractor did not do what he was paid to do. And so, as recent as the 20th and the 30th of November, just a couple of weeks ago, keys were handed over to the health authorities in relation to these two health centers, sir. That was not mentioned. Mr. Speaker, when we are going to lay blame, sir, we need to find genuine reasons for so doing. My good friend, the Honorable Mr. Irfan Ali, spoke of lies. We told lies. Sir, one thing that he mentioned, or we spoke lies. We spoke lies. I stand corrected, and I don't mind.
I remember Mr. Charrandas.
Sir.
And what I am going to say now applies to all members in this chamber. That word will not be acceptable. It was used yesterday. In fact, Honorable Mr. Ali began his presentation
yes, sir,
with a certain reference. Whether in song or in verse, it will not be permitted henceforth. So please express yourself in other language.
I'm glad, sir. I was simply referring to what the honorable member said. But, sir, we were accused of untruth. And, Your Honor, what I would look at is if there is any untruth about anything, it is the untruth claimed or laid down to the people in Berbice, Region 6 in particular, about cheap electricity as a result of the functioning of the Skelden factory, which has generators. We will get cheap electricity. Sir, that is one huge white elephant. Millions and millions, hundreds of millions of US dollars were spent to put that white elephant where it is, sir. By the PPP. Not this government, sir. And when we were told that we would receive cheap electricity, sir, if that is not untrue, then what else is? Mr. Speaker, I would like to also look at one of the things that is bothering us in Region 6. Sir, one of the things that I enjoy, and I will say this publicly because this is public, is the Berbice River Bridge. And that was put, sir, if I may be allowed to use a term that I've often been told, Jagdeugiayu Bridge. I am not denying that. I am happy. And with respect to the honorable member, I will simply use that reference, Jagdeugiayu Bridge. Your Honor, sir, that contract for the bridge was not drafted and signed by us, this government. It was signed years ago by the PPP. And that contract, sir, allowed for $2,200 for a car to drive across. And Region 6, or Berbice, is what the PPP described as their stronghold. But it was the PPP. My good friend, the Honorable Member Zulfikar, had to pay $2,200 across. He was not an MP then. But, sir, we, this government, reduced that to $1,900. We did that, sir. And just recently, sir, it was supposed to have come out on November 12th, local government election day, that the bridge toll at the Berbice River Bridge was going to go up to $8,000, sir. At $2,200, sir, that was $11 US. At that time, it was the highest cost of crossing a bridge, including any bridge in the United States of America. At $8,000, sir, it is unquestionably the most expensive bridge to cross in this part of the world. But who did that, sir? If we agree that it was Jagdeo, as the term was, Jagdeo Gaya Bridge, it has to be his contract. It has to be terms of the contract that they signed to allow for such an increase. And sir, had it not been for this government and my good friend and colleague, the Honorable Mr. David Patterson, people would have been struggling somewhere else. Really looking to sell some, and my good friend Mr. Zulfikar, the Honorable Member, will say, some were looking to sell their cars. But sir, the price of that bridge has been stymied. It has been stayed, as we will say in legal term. It is not happening $8,000. But what is slated to happen, sir? My good friend, Minister Patterson, there's word all over the place that he will be going to court. He will be taken to court for that. Sir, at least if he's taken to court, he'll be taken to court for something worth going to court for. And it is not just stealing law books, sir. It is definitely not just stealing law books. And so he will have a defense. He will have, a lot of us will defend him, sir, for free. For free. Oh, the case is tomorrow morning. Mr. Speaker, what we have, sir, what we have is a bunch of disgruntled people who have high dreams. And you know, we're all allowed to have our dreams. But that is what it is. Let us not look to blame others when we ourselves are part of the same thing that we're talking about. We initiated all these things. Mr. Speaker, I have so much to say. But when we look at this, sir, I will just go quickly to what has happened so far, sir, in Region 6. In Region 6, sir, we have millions of dollars were spent in development. A friend of mine came back from Canada just the other day. He hasn't been in Guyana for about 9 years. And he was driving through Amsterdam, sir. And he said, man, this road has like a glass top. The main road in Amsterdam. And what he said, sir, was that the Bagdam road should have been built and the canal should be clean. And I said, can we show you something? When he looked at it, sir, that is so clean. And again, it's a brand new road. What are we complaining about? People in Berbice, my good friend and former chairman, Mr. Zulfikar, the honorable member, he is happy, sir. He's very happy. But he can't say that publicly. Mr. Speaker, look what we have. He will tell you, and I will dare him and my other colleague and good friend, attorney at law, the honorable member, Adrian Anamaya. The 19th Street, the longest straight road in the Caribbean, sir. That was pitch dark. It's also a very lonely road. Now what do we have? The honorable member, Mr. David Patterson, I can pat him on the shoulder. Not just lights, LED lights. You don't need your car lights when you're driving there. And sir, it is a known fact, sir, that that road usually is infested with animals. With those lights, you can see them, it's as bright as day. Zulfi, my good friend, yes or no? I will allow you. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member is shaking his head. He still can't say yes aloud. Mr. Speaker, what is there to complain about? One of the things, the closure of the sugar estate in Rosal, Kanji. Sir, I cannot deny that the estate is closed, or was closed, I should say. But the people who were working there were paid severance pay, sir. It is more money than they received during their working years in just a fraction of the year. The rest of it was paid last Friday. Sir, some have used that money, some have bought cars, some have renovated their homes. They could not have done that on the weekly salary they were getting. But what we have done, what this government has done by doing that, Mr. Speaker, people, we were giving money to a business that did not bring back anything in return. Was it sensible? And it was not the AAP and UAFC government that crippled the sugar estate, sir. That was done a long time ago by the PPP. What are they complaining about? We are trying, sir. It's mixed. We are trying, sir, to make the people comfortable. The severance pay, the balance of it was paid last Friday, sir. But many of those workers, again, I will ask my friend to deny if he has that kind of guts. Many of those men and people who are working in the sugar estate cutting cane are still employed by the same estate, yes or no? Yes. And so, but that did not stop the government from putting out money and paying the severance. If you are not working, fine, but you are now re-employed. But you still got your severance pay and you got this working money coming in. Mr. Speaker, again, what is there to complain about? If what they did, and I'm saying they did, sir, there's a particular individual who lives legally opposite from my home in Kanji. He was on TV. I can't send my children to school. I don't have enough money. I was laid off from the estate. Sir, it was about 2 weeks after the severance was paid. And he doesn't have a child. That's the problem. And I had to take task with that. I had to. He does not have a child, sir. Not an adopted child either.
Honourable member.
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member, you have 5 minutes remaining.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I will take the 5 minutes. That's all the time I need, sir, to look at what was happening in Region 6 in 2018. Sir, we have $61 million capital expenditure. Very quickly, sir, so that my friends can, at least this is available. The REO will give you a copy of this if you want, or I can make a copy, so that you will know it's not lies, or sorry, my apologies, sir, I withdraw that word. It is not untruth. We have extension of maternity ward in Amsterdam. It is not completed, but it will be. It is being built. The Amsterdam Hospital. And I mentioned that earlier. Construction of the doctor's quarters in Amsterdam. And anybody will see that. Again, I will ask my friend to deny that. The doctor's quarters is now being extended, sir, in Amsterdam. Phase 2 of the construction of the CT scan room. Rehabilitation of the doctor's room at the Amsterdam Hospital. I must say this, sir. I went one night to meet a doctor who's a good friend of mine. And when I watched the room where they were sleeping in when they take their breaks or their rest period because of a 24-hour shift, sir, it is not where I will put my dog to sleep. But now, that has been renovated. The doctors have proper beds inside there. That is what we're doing, sir. We're trying to make everybody comfortable. Mr. Speaker, we also have the entire hospital kitchen. The kitchen in the Amsterdam Hospital is being renovated because people have to have food. They have to cook for the patients and all that. Sir, these are things that could have been done a long time ago if the then people in control had the vision. Sir, very quickly, sir.
2 minutes remaining, honourable member.
Thank you very much, sir. We're looking also at the construction of number 36 primary school, rehabilitation of the Skeldon primary school, rehabilitation of the Skeldon annex, rehabilitation of the Amsterdam multilateral school, rehab of the Johanna primary school, Blackbush area. And sir, we are not looking to see what area has PNC or AFC or APNU people. We are doing it for the people in Maurice. We are doing it, sir, for the citizens of this country. Mr. Speaker, what we have in the 2019 budget, very quickly, please, sir. We have at least $114 million set aside for bridges at Cromarty and number 65. Again, allegedly, PPP dominated area. But we are not looking at who controls what area, sir. We are doing it for the people. That is what this government is about. Excavation of the creek and and canal at number 66 village and Blackbush polder. This is to help farmers, please, sir. Mr. Speaker, I will conclude very quickly. There's a lot more, but I'm sure my other colleagues will assist. I want to just very briefly end with the East Bank Beach Road, sir. That road, millions of dollars were spent or allocated by the PPP to build that road. It was like a temporary fix. It is now being fixed permanently, sir. We and many of us who live there will not outlive that road. Again, sir, I wish to at this stage, without hesitation, commend this budget to the Honorable House. Thank the Minister of Finance and his staff for presenting a very detailed, a very engulfing budget, sir. And I wish to thank him and his staff for so doing.
Honorable Member, your time is up.
Thank you very much, sir.